This is a side body sequence called Criss-Cross. We're going to start on our backs. Turn around, face the back of your mat, and lie down onto your back. Bring your feet off the floor and stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Reach your arms up too. Pull your outer shoulders off the ground and really move your tailbone strongly forward so you flex your back. And keep all of that as you bring your left leg forward, and don't go so far that your low back comes off the floor. And then bring your leg up and bring your leg forward. Bring your leg up and bring your leg forward one more time. This time, as you raise the leg up, cross your left ankle back behind your right ankle so your legs are crisscrossed, and start to bring both your legs forward and really press your ankles into one another, and then come back up. Do that 2 more times. Press your ankles against one another and lower your heels down. Keep flexing your back. Come on up. One last time. Forward, and then back up. Let your outer right ankle slip all the way down into a figure 4 position so it passes your knee. Let your arms go off to the side and place the bottom of your left foot down onto the ground. Keep your figure 4 legs, but let your legs just go all the way off towards the left so your right foot actually lands on the ground. Take your left hand and grab your shin, your right shin, close to the ankle, and pull the foot closer to you. Keep holding your ankle or your shin and move your inner right thigh away from you. And think of stretching your right groin towards your inner right knee. Don't let go of your leg with your hand, but come back up so the bottom of your left foot lands. Let your hand just slip down to the heel and pull your foot right up off your thigh. And then take your right hand and place it to the inside of your knee and move the knee forward as you bring the ankle in towards you. So the left elbow can be bent. And then reach with your right hand and grab the outside of your right foot and come into a half happy baby. Pull on your foot so much that the knee actually touches the ground. Even if your left butt cheek comes off the floor, that's absolutely fine. And roll to your right a little bit and see if you can straighten your leg. Even if it doesn't straighten all the way, that doesn't matter at all. See where it goes early on in class. Come back to a half happy baby. Cross your left hand up and grab exactly where your right hand was. So grab the outside of your foot with your left hand and let the leg go all the way over to the left this time. See if it can straighten. See if you can land the inside of your foot down onto the ground. You can take your right hand, take the outside of your hip and move it forward. Keep holding your foot, but come back down onto your back. Switch the grip again. So with your right hand, grab the outside of your foot. Pull the knee all the way down to the ground. Roll to the right a little bit and see if you can straighten the leg. And we'll just do that a little bit more smoothly. Bend the knee, come back up onto both butt cheeks. Switch the grip. So left hand grabs outer right foot. Let your leg go all the way off to the left. Land your inner foot down. And we'll do that one more time. Roll back down onto your back. Switch hands, keep holding the foot, roll to your right, see if you can straighten the right leg. Come on back up, switch grip, bring the leg all the way to the left. And then come into a half happy baby again. Grab the outside of your right foot with your right hand. Grab your heel with your left hand. So both hands are grabbing the foot now. Bend your elbows and pull your inner foot towards your chest. And then place your right foot down onto the ground. Zip your legs together. Stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Reach your arms up too. Lift your shoulders right up off the ground and move your tailbone strongly forward. Keep flexing your back and start to bring your right leg forward in space. Remember, keep your low back pressing into the ground, your mid back pressing into the ground. Stay rounding. And then come back up, bring your right leg up. 2 more just like that. Right leg forward and right leg up. Right leg forward. And as you come up, you cross your right ankle behind your left ankle. Crisscross. Bring your legs forward. Remember, keep your low back into the floor and come up. Legs forward and come up. One more time. Forward and up. Let your outer left ankle slip down your thigh, past your knee, figure 4. Let your arms go off to the sides of the room and place your right foot all the way down to the ground. Let your figure 4 legs slowly come all the way to the right. So you roll onto the outside of your right foot. The bottom of your left foot lands. And then reach with your right hand and grab very low down by the shin and pull, slide the foot along the floor closer to your body. And then move your inner left knee forward. And stretch from the inner groin all the way along the thigh upwards. And then just keep holding the leg as you are with your hand, but come back up. So land the bottom of your right foot on the ground. Grab your heel, the left heel, with your right hand and pull your foot off the thigh. And then place your left hand on the inside of your left knee and just give it a little encouragement forward as you pull with your right hand the foot a little closer to your body. So you're passively externally rotating your left hip. And then with your left hand, grab the outside of your foot and come into a half happy baby. Start to pull the knee so much down towards the floor that it actually taps the ground. Then roll to your left a little bit. It gives you way more space to straighten the left leg along the floor. Keep holding your foot and come into a half happy baby. And reach up with your right hand and grab where your left hand was, switch the grip, and roll to your right so you can straighten your left leg a little bit more. It's all good if the leg doesn't straighten. Maybe you're even playing intentionally not to straighten the leg. You can turn your chest to the ceiling and even a little bit towards your left arm. And then we'll do it like a vinyasa. Roll onto your back. Switch the grip, grab the outside of your foot, roll to your left a little bit so maybe your left leg can straighten. Come back up, find both butt cheeks, switch the grip, right hand grabs left foot, roll to your right, start to stretch the leg. And then come back up, half happy baby, one more time. Off to the side, maybe the leg straightens. Back to half happy baby, switch your grip, roll to your right, maybe the leg straightens off to the side. And then come back into a half happy baby. With your right hand, grab your heel. Aim the inner foot towards your chest or your nose, so your left knee is actually off to the side. Bend both your elbows off to the side and pull your inner foot towards you. Find different angles. You can allow the elbows to bend and straighten a bit. The movement is okay. And then place the foot down onto the floor. Roll over onto your right side and keep going. Roll over onto your stomach. And take your fingertips down onto the ground, wider than your mat. So tent your fingers and really root your pubis into the ground quite strongly so you have an anchor. And then bring your forehead down onto the ground. Bring your shoulders away from the floor. Start to lift your heart up, your top ribs up, even some of the top of your belly up away from the ground. So you're rounding, and you start to lift so much that your head actually starts to hang off the ground. And then start to coil yourself up, one vertebra at a time. The chin stays tucked until the heart goes forward, and then start to look forward towards the horizon. And be wide in your collarbones, be uplifted in your heart. And then think of the reverse of that. Keep the back bend for as long as you can this time. Land the lowest part of your stomach, the middle part of your stomach, the low ribs, your chest, and then your forehead. Let's do that one more time. Roll yourself up. Coil yourself up. Belly lifts last. Then you start to lift your chest. Maybe even look up a little bit. And then the belly lands first. And then the lowest ribs, top ribs, chest, forehead. Then place your hands next to your ribs like a baby cobra. Engage your abdomen, coil your tailbone back, push into your hands quite strongly, and press yourself up into a tabletop. And then tuck your toes and come into a downward facing dog. Lift your heels up, bend your knees quite a bit, and lift your bum way up into the air. And turn your heels all the way to the left side of the space. Keep your knees nice and bent so you're more pliant. Push your hands forward, and as you bring your butt to the left, lean your ribs to the right. So you get super curvy on the right side of your body. And then come back to the center, smooth moves all the way to the left. Turn your toes to the left, heels to the right, bend your knees, bunch. Push the hands forward. And as you bring your hips to the right, lean your ribs to the left. Find a side body stretch. And then come back to the center, knees face forward. Roll yourself forward into a plank pose. Pull the heart forward at the last second. Bend your knees a lot, pop your butt up, push your hands forward, and come back to a down dog with your knees bent. Let's do that one more time. Roll yourself forward like a cat pose. Unfurling almost like a cow pose. Start to bend your knees, pop your butt up, press your hands forward, and come back to a down dog. Lift your right leg up into the air. Turn your right knee all the way to the right. Bend your knee and lift the front of your right knee as high as you can get it. Lean into your right ribs and turn your chest to the right. You can even turn your head to the right, like you're fitting your chin into your armpit. Come back to center, down dog split. Look at your left wrist and step forward to your left wrist. So you cross your foot to the left. And then you can come onto your fingertips and start to straighten your front leg. You can absolutely have a bend in your knees. You can use blocks if you want to, absolutely fine. And then roll onto the outside of your right foot. Let your right knee go off to the side, just like a pigeon leg, but in a lunge. Take your back knee down onto the ground and slowly lean your bum back as far as it goes without you moving your fingers from where they are right now. And notice that the stretch changes on the outside of your right leg. Pull your outer left hip back and move your outer right knee down towards the floor more. So it's kind of like a half Hanumanasana, but with your right leg in a Tarasana or elongated baddha konasana position. And then re-land the front foot down onto the floor and straighten your legs just for a moment. Cross your left ankle back behind your right ankle. So your feet are next to each other, your baby toes are quite close to one another, and you stay on the left side of your mat. And then plug the back knee into the front knee, so much so that your front heel lifts off the ground. So that's your right foot, it's crisscross, so it's kind of bizarre, but your right foot, the heel is lifting. So you don't hyperextend your knees, and you just fold over bent thighs. And then grab a hold of your heel with your left hand and slowly bring your ankle all the way up to the front of your left thigh. So you're in a figure 4 position. Take your right hand on the inside of your knee and drive your outer left hip back quite a bit. Try and get really long through the 2 sides of your spine. And then keep holding your leg just as you are, just like you did on your back, and slowly stand up and pull the heel in and move your knee down. Press the bottom foot very strongly into the ground and hug your outer left hip to the midline. And then with your right hand, grab the inner ankle and place your foot to the inside of your thigh. Keep holding your shin at the very bottom right by your ankle with your hand, and place your left hand to the front outside of your left hip. Compact your outer left hip in, wrap your outer right hip down, and press your right hip into your arm. And then get as tall as you can. And stretch the right knee as wide as it goes. And then do chair. Step your feet together. You're probably around the midline of your mat. That's great. Bend your knees, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and fold down over your legs. Come halfway up, pull your heart forward, and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Step the right foot back and come into a plank. Bring your knees down onto the floor, and slowly go past chaturanga all the way down to the earth. Take your fingertips off to the side and roll yourself up. Let the heart lift last, let the chin lift, look up, and then slowly bring yourself down, unfurl. Take your hands next to your ribs like baby cobra. Get really strong in your belly, move your tailbone back, and then push up into a tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your bum up, press your hands forward and come into a down dog. Roll forward into a plank pose. Pull your heart forward at the very last second. Bend your knees a ton. Cow your back. Push your hands forward and come back into a down dog with your butt popped up. Let's do that one more time. Roll yourself forward. Come into a plank. Start to bend your knees. Chest goes forward. Press your hands. Downward facing dog. Lift your bum up. Lift your left leg up into the air. Turn your left knee to the left and bend it. And then think of your outer right hip going back and stretch from the front of your left thigh to the front of your left knee and up. And turn your ribs to the left and maybe bring your chin to your armpit, like you're going underneath your left arm. Down dog split, come on back up. Look at your right wrist and step your left big toe to your right wrist. Come onto your fingertips. Mine always shift off to the side. That's absolutely fine. And start to straighten your left leg-ish. Absolutely doesn't need to straighten. Get a good fold instead. See if you can keep contact with your upper body over your left leg. Notice the stretch is probably on the outside of your left hip. The lateral hamstring stretching when you cross your leg like this. And then roll onto the outside of your left foot. Let the knee go off to the side. Keep everything the same. Just bring your back knee down onto the ground and shift your hips back towards your right heel. Notice the stretch increase maybe. Keep your hands right where they are and be cool with where your hips go. You don't have to sit on your heel. But do pull your outer right hip back and move your outer left knee towards the floor. So out wide to the left and down towards your yoga mat. Land the bottom of your left foot on the floor again. Come forward a bit and straighten both your legs. Keep your left foot from moving. Don't shift it. Just cross your right ankle back behind your left ankle so your baby toes are next to one another. And then plug your back knee into the pit of your front knee. So your legs are bent on purpose. Let your head shake out. Allow your arms to be dead weight. Make it relaxing. You can grab your heel with your right hand and place your legs into a figure four. Really ground through your right foot. Tap your outer right hip back and find balance before you decide to take your left hand on the inside of your knee. And then keep holding your leg like this and slowly come on up to stand. So it's like you're holding a shelf out in front of you. You can bend your right elbow, pull the foot up, and just encourage the knee down a little bit with your left palm. So you do that passive external rotation of the hip. And then grab the inside of your shin with your left hand and place yourself into a tree pose. Keep holding your shin as you are the whole time. Push through your right foot very strongly. Compact your outer right hip to the left. And as you move your outer left hip down, move your groin into your arm, the arm that's holding your shin. And see if you can get any wider on the inside of your left thigh. And then do chair. Bring your feet together, bend your knees, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and fold down over your legs. Come halfway up. Step your right foot back this time. Come into a plank. Step your left foot back. Bring your knees down onto the floor and slowly push past Chaturanga Dandasana. Bring your fingertips off to the side. Finger stand cobra. Roll up once. Lift your heart up. And then slowly, slowly unfurl yourself down and land your hands next to your rib basket. First do the work of getting strong. Tailbone back, firm belly, press your hands down, and then press up into a tabletop. Tuck your toes, press your hands forward, and come into a down dog. We'll do it with our breath, so let's sync the breath together. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. Come forward, roll forward, plank. Take a breath in. Bend your knees, press your hands forward, lift your butt up and breathe out, down dog. Lift your right leg up into the air and take a full breath in. Turn the knee to the right, bend your knee and stack your hip just for the exhale. Lift the knee as high as you can get it. And then down dog split on the breath in. Look at your left wrist and step forward to your left wrist and breathe out. Foot doesn't move from that position. Come onto your fingertips, take a full breath in, tap your back knee down for a sec, and then straighten both of your legs and fold and breathe out. Roll onto the outside of your right foot, tap your back knee down, take a breath in, try and get as wide as you can with your right knee, and then re-land your right foot on the floor, straighten both your legs-ish on the breath out. We'll do that 2 more times. Tap your back knee down, roll onto the outside of your right foot. It's like a pigeon lunge. And then land your right foot, straighten both your legs and fold. Breathe out. 1 more time. Tap the back knee down, pigeon lunge, inhale. Straighten both your legs and fold as you exhale. Criss-cross. Left ankle back behind right ankle. Take a full breath in, lift your right heel up, lift your heart forward, and fold down over your legs and breathe out. All good if your right heel is still on the ground, off the ground, sorry. And then grab a hold of your heel and come into a figure four. Take your right hand to your knee, hold your leg like a shelf, and slowly bring yourself up. This time with your right hand, grab the outside of your foot. So you're doing that double grab. Try and get the inner foot to lift up a little bit, so it's like hovering in front of your chest or even your stomach, and that's totally fine. Bend both your elbows and pull your foot towards your body. And if you need to bend your standing leg, go for it. Do eagle legs. Cross your right leg entirely around your left leg. You could clip it once or twice, you choose. And wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. Sink your butt, lift your head. Think of internally rotating your legs. So spin your inner thighs down. And then do chair pose. Land your foot, bend your knees, reach your arms up towards the ceiling and breathe in. And fold down over your legs and breathe out. Come halfway up and inhale. Step your left foot to the back of your mat and exhale. Come into a plank and breathe in and bring your knees down onto the floor. Pass chaturanga, land onto your front and breathe out. Bring your fingertips off to the sides. Roll yourself up. Finger stand cobra. At the top of the breath in, you're at the apex of the pose. And then slowly bring yourself down as you breathe out. Tap your forehead. Land your hands next to your ribs. Take a full breath in. Move your tailbone back. Press your hands from your belly. And then tabletop as you breathe out. Tuck your toes, cow your back, take a breath in, and keep that as you come into a down dog and breathe out. So keep the pop up of your butt. Roll yourself forward, come into a plank pose. You can inhale, bend your knees, pop your butt up, press your hands forward, down dog, exhale. Left leg lifts. Breathe in, turn the knee to the left, bend your knee, and then lift the knee up as high as you can on the breath out. Down dog split. Take a breath in, look at your right wrist. Step forward to your right wrist as you breathe out. Come onto your fingertips. Tap your back knee down, that's an inhale. Straighten-ish both your legs and fold and exhale. Tap your back knee down, pigeon lunge. Let the knee go off to the side. Roll onto your outer left foot. Straighten both of your legs. Fold and breathe out. 2 more times. Pigeon lunge. Inhale. Straighten-ish and fold as you exhale. Last one. Breathe in, pigeon lunge. Straighten and fold and breathe out. Crisscross your legs, keep your left foot where it is. Baby toes together, take a breath in. The front heel is lifted. Fold over your legs and breathe out. Take your right hand and grab a hold of your heel. Slip it up into a figure 4. Take your left hand to the inner left knee. Pretty much grab your kneecap. And keep the shelf of your leg with you as you come on up. And then keep holding the foot with your right hand, but reach forward with your left hand too, and do that double grab. Grab the outside of your foot. Bend your elbows and pull your inner foot towards your body. If you need to bend your right knee, absolutely do it. It gives you more pliancy, gives you a little bit more space to do the posture. And then do eagle pose. Wrap your left leg around your right leg, once or twice. Left arm goes underneath your right arm. Maybe grab at the wrist. Press the right foot down, sink your butt down, lift your head up. Roll your inner thighs down. And then do chair pose, feet together, middle of the mat, bend your knees, reach your arms up. Fold over your legs and breathe out. Come halfway up. It's an inhale. Step your right foot back. Lunge. Exhale. Plank. Take a breath in, bring your knees down onto the floor, and go past chaturanga one more time as you breathe out. Fingertips off to the sides, roll yourself up, take a full breath in, dive yourself down slowly as you breathe out, and land your hands while you're at it. Take a breath in to get strong, tailbone, hands, belly, tabletop, breathe out. Cow pose to set up, tuck your toes, down dog, press your hands forward, lift your bum up. And take a breath in, and let a breath out. Take your feet wider than your mat. Walk your hands back to your feet. Fold down your legs. Have a nice bend to your knees. Maybe move your upper body right to left. Let your head sway, let your arms kind of hang. And then walk your fingers out in front of you. You can sharpen your legs or you can keep your legs bent. Take your left hand and grab the outside of your right ankle and bend your left knee. So you kind of shift away from the leg that you're holding. And then walk your fingers, your right fingers, your free hand over to the left as much as you can. And start to turn your left ribs towards your right ribs. So twist to the right. Take your chin to your armpit and turn underneath your arm. Think of pulling your heart away from your groin. So there's this sense of back bending in your fold, in your twist. Give yourself space in your spine. And then come back to the center, let go of your leg. Walk your fingers forward, find the midline towards the front. Cross your right hand underneath your left arm and grab the outside of your ankle and bend your right knee. Start to walk your left fingers to the right. Maybe even find the space on the other side of your yoga mat. And then start to turn towards your left. Spin your right torso to your left torso. Turn the right side of your chest to the left side of your chest. Turn your head up and find your armpit with your chin. And then come back to the middle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your feet back to about hip width distance apart. And just bring your left leg back behind you into a supported warrior 3. And then walk your right fingers back so they're next to your foot, but walk your left fingers forward towards the front of your mat. Turn your left toes all the way to the left and turn underneath your arm. I just took a wider stance with my right fingers. That helped me. It gave me more stability. If that helps you, go for it. Can you walk your left fingers any further forward and then bow your left ribs up towards the ceiling. Bring your chin towards your armpit. Twist towards your left. And then bend both your knees and fold down at the back of your mat. Bring your right leg back behind you. Walk your left fingertips back so they're next to your foot. Walk your right fingertips way forward. Then turn your right foot all the way to the right. And if it helps to take a wider stance now with your left arm, it might just happen naturally for you. Bow your right ribs up. Twist underneath your right arm. Turn your chin towards your armpit. And feel a nice big side body stretch on the right. And then bend both your knees and fold down over your legs. Walk your hands all the way forward to the front of your mat. Come into a plank. Be on your tippy toes. Move your tail back. Broaden your collarbones and pull your heart forward. And keep all that and do chaturanga. Come into an up dog, find a back bend, it'll feel good after all the folds. Widen your chest, lift your heart up, and then find down dog. Roll forward into a plank. And breathe in. Bend your knees, press your hands forward, down dog. Breathe out. Lift your right leg up into the air and take an inhale. Turn your right knee to the right. Open up the hip. And this time, step your right foot all the way to the back of your mat and stretch your right arm forward. Move the tail back. Reach the arm forward. Open up your heart towards the front of your mat. Smooth move back into a down dog split. Lift your right leg up into the air. Step your right foot to your right thumb tip this time, so normal styles. Walk your fingers forward and come into a supported warrior three. Same jam. Walk your right fingers back so they're next to your foot. Walk your left arm way forward. Turn your left foot towards the left. Turn your right ribs towards the left and twist underneath your arm. So think konasana. The only thing that really needs to change is that you have to step your left foot all the way back and land it and allow your left arm eventually to come off the ground. So let's do it. Slow transition. Step your left foot all the way to the back of your mat. Land your foot. Let your left arm come off the floor, but keep reaching it forward. Stamp your feet down. Wrap your outer right hip down. Twist your ribs up towards the top of the room. And as your left foot serves as an anchor, reach your left arm forward. And get a big side stretch on the left side of your body. And then take your hands down onto the floor. Come into a plank pose just for a moment. And then come into a pigeon. So bring your right knee to your right wrist. Land on the outside of your right shin and point your right foot. So you plantar flex your right ankle. Press the top of your right foot into the floor. Drive your right shin into the ground. So you feel not only a stretch on the outside of your right hip, but also a contraction. And then lock your tailbone down and lift your belly button up. And if you'd like to take your hands on the sides of your hip, that's a nice thing to do. Situate your hands on your hips so you have extra anchors. Think of the tail going down and the belly going up. You can grab your rib cage if you want to with your hands and pull your ribs up. You can grab your armpit area and pull your arms up. If you want to reach the arms to the ceiling and interlace your fingers, go for it. And as your feet drive down, as you lift your ribs, as you lift your arms, as you lift your head, and be stationed down below. And then take your hands down onto the ground, tuck your back toes, and come into a figure four in your down dog. So take your outer right ankle to the front of your left thigh. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet into a forward fold like we've been doing in a figure four. Same thing, grab your heel with your left hand. Grab your knee with your right hand. Keep the shelf of your leg and slowly stand up. Grab the outside of your right foot with your right hand, do the double grab, and pull your foot in towards you. And then you can keep that or place your left hand onto your outer left hip and do that kind of half happy baby situation that we did at the very beginning of this class. And if you want to straighten your right leg, you absolutely can. Off to the side, off to the right. So Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 2 or B. And then bend the knee, place your right foot down to the floor, find chair, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and fold down over your legs. Walk your hands all the way forward and come into a plank and take an inhale. Chaturanga Dandasana as you exhale. Up dog, and take a breath in. Down dog, take a breath out. Roll forward into a plank and inhale. Bend your knees, pop your butt up. Down dog, press your hands forward as you exhale. Reach your left leg up into the air and breathe in. Turn your knee all the way to the left, bend your knee, and slowly step back to Konasana. Land your left foot behind you and reach your left arm forward. Move your left butt cheek forward, your tailbone towards your legs, as you bring your heart and your arm forward towards the front of the room. Smooth move back to a down dog split. Lift your left leg all the way up high to the sky and step forward to your left thumb tip and find a lunge facing forward. Standing splits, or supported warrior 3 really. Reach your right leg up into the air. Walk your left fingertips back so they're next to your foot, and walk your right fingers way further forward. And then turn your right foot all the way to the right. Turn your right knee to the side. Let your head be dead weight. Bow your right ribs up and get super curvy on the right side of your trunk. So as your right fingertips are kind of stretching forward, the right ankle is stretching back and slightly down. And then you're one step away, one giant step away from Parsva Konasana. Start to bend your left knee. Slowly, go super slow. Step your right foot all the way to the back of your mat, land it, and keep reaching your right arm forward, but bring it off the ground. Feet press down, outer left hip tucks down, ribs spin up towards the top arm, and you're reaching as far as you can forward with your right arm. Turn your chin up towards your armpit. Stretch your neck long. And then take your 2 hands down onto the floor and come into a plank. Bring your left knee to your left wrist and come into pigeon. And not that you have to do it all the time, but just try it today. Point your left toes to the right so you can find the top of your foot on the ground. And then come up onto fingertips maybe and start to press your left shin very strongly into the ground. So we need the legs to be strong and stable in this position. And then slowly, tailbone down, hands can come to the hips. Think of the top of your bum going down. Think of your belly button going up. Good, and then take your hands down onto the floor. Tuck your back toes. Lift your left leg up into the air. And find a down dog split. Bring your outer left ankle to the front of your right thigh, because I almost forgot that. And start to walk your hands back so you come into a figure 4. And grab a hold of your heel with your right hand. Take your left hand to the inside of your left knee. Really grab the kneecap. And keep the grip that you have on your lower leg and slowly stand up. Option, grab the outside of your left foot, pull it in. You can keep that. Or release with the right hand, keep holding with the left, and bring the leg off to the left a little bit. And if you want to straighten your leg, bam, go for it. If you don't, great. And then bring the leg forward, bend your knee, place your feet down onto the ground, do chair pose, breathe in, and fold down over your legs, and breathe out. Walk your hands all the way forward and come into a plank. And take a breath in, and go past Chaturanga Dandasana this time as you breathe out. One last time, fingertips off to the side, roll yourself up into a finger stand cobra. Lift your heart, lift your head, lift your eyes maybe, and then slowly coil yourself down. Let your head land last. Bring your left arm all the way off to the left. Walk it forward slightly. Keep your right fingertips onto the floor and roll over onto your left side. And step your right foot back behind you. And press your left palm into the floor a little bit. Lift your left shoulder off the ground a little bit. And feel like you're twisting your ribs to the right. And then roll over onto your tummy. Reach your right arm off to the right, slip onto your left fingertips, and roll over onto your right side. You can walk your right arm back. Sometimes you need to do that. I had to do that on this side. Get a bigger stretch. And press your right palm into the ground. Feel like your right shoulder is lifting up away from the floor. Twist to the left. And then roll down onto your tummy and place both your hands next to your ribs like we've been doing. And pull yourself into a little baby cobra. And then really pin your pubis into the ground. Keep your knees on the floor for a second and bring your heels towards your butt. So at this point, tailbone down, knees pressed down. How close can you get your heels to your bum without using your hands? Keep the back bend. Keep pulling the heart forward. Keep widening your shoulders right to left. And then float your hands off the ground. You gotta use your back strength now. Reach back and grab the outside of your ankles or the outsides of your feet, and then start to kick back into your hands. And then slowly lower. Let's just take a rest. Make a little pillow out of your forearms and look to the left. And then look to the right. So just balance out your neck. And then roll completely onto your back, just like how we started class. Bring the soles of your feet onto the ground. Lift your bum up into the air and interlace your fingers underneath your hips and tuck your right shoulder under and your left shoulder under. And come into Setu Bandhasan. Push the four corners of your feet down. Raise your hamstrings up. Lift the front of your thighs up. And keep that as you draw your tailbone forward quite strongly. And then without moving your feet, grip the floor with your ankles and your heels and drag your heels back isometrically. So you tone the back of your legs after stretching them so much during the sequence. And then keep your hands laced, even squish your palms a little bit more. See if you can even walk your shoulders back towards your legs a little bit, just a little bit. And then walk your feet all the way together. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Let your knees go wide and slowly land your upper body over your arms, like your arms were a bolster. Let the legs be in Supta Baddha Konasana. And then bring your legs all the way together. Place your feet on the floor. Lift your bum up. Release your hands and lie back down. Do one more round and maybe we'll add on to it. And lift your hips up. Interlace your fingers the other way with your left thumb on top. Tuck your left shoulder under and your right shoulder under. Push into the four corners of your feet. Raise your legs up, raise your hips up, raise your mid back up. And then keep all that and move your tail forward as you drag your heels back isometrically. You can stay in bridge or keep the hips lifted. Release your hands and place them next to your head somewhere with your fingers pointing towards your shoulders. And then pop yourself up onto your head. Bring your elbows closer together. Bring your chest towards your elbows and roll onto your forehead just a little bit and straighten your arms. Push into your inner hands, wrap your outer shoulders in the same direction that you're looking. Lift your thighs, lift your hips. And again, tailbone goes forward, heels drag back, which is a tricky action to get. And then look up, keep looking up, and slowly come down. If you're in bridge, come on out. Walk your feet nice and wide and let your knees touch. Constructive rest. And then keep the general position of the feet actually, but take your outer right ankle and place it to the outside of your left knee and let your legs go off to the right. So you roll onto the inside of your left foot. Grip your left thigh with your outer right ankle and think of encouraging your left knee forward with your ankle that's on top of it. And then move your tailbone forward strongly. And now we're focusing on the stretch on the front of your left thigh, kind of the lateral aspect of the front thigh, the TFL area. So instead of the figure four being about the externally rotated leg, we'll make it more about the internally rotated leg, the left leg on this side. And then come on back up and we'll just switch it. So remember, land your right foot wide and let your inner knees touch. Constructive rest. And take the outside of your left ankle and place it to the outside of your right knee. And keep that position, but just bring your legs all the way over to the left. Instead of pressing down with your ankle, think of catching the skin or your pants on the outside of the thigh, outside of the knee, and encourage the knee forward with the top ankle. And then keep all that and move your tailbone quite strongly forward. Think of the same actions as before, belly up towards your chest, tailbone forward towards the knees. Come on back up and land your left foot wide and let your knees knock in together. Constructive rest. You can fit into a couple of shapes, just really find something with a neutral position that doesn't have any sides to it. So you could bring your knees in and just wrap your arms around your legs. Konasana. You could grab the outsides of your feet and do happy baby. Just after the back bend, sometimes it's nice to let the back go into flexion. So maybe pick a rounded position for your spine. And then when you're ready, you can bring your legs into baddha konasana, the soles of your feet together, the knees off to the side, the outer feet on the ground. Let your arms go off to the side and tuck your shoulders underneath you slightly. Tuck your chin slightly and close your eyes. And I'm going to keep my legs like that for a bit, but if that's uncomfortable for you at all, just stretch your legs straight, do Shavasana right away. And pick whatever pose is going to make you more relaxed. If you're in baddha konasana, you can stretch your legs to Shavasana if you want to now. Split the difference. You could also just stay in baddha konasana the whole time. Instead of prompting you to roll over and sit up, just gonna offer to stay right here. I feel very relaxed myself, so maybe you feel the same. And just stay on your back and lay here for as long as you want. And thanks very much for showing up. Thanks very much for practicing.